Please check now. I think the audio must be there now. Yes, audio is there now. Uh, Greetings, everyone. So, greetings, dear ones. Very good morning to you. Hope it's a beautiful Sunday there. Mine is not exactly a very beautiful Sunday. A lot of technicalities issues here. And the other thing is I'm on battery because since morning there has been a power failure. So I do not know how long this will run. Basic. And these guys prefer to do it on Sundays only. Their maintenance and all that. So so I do not know how long it will run. Yeah, we have lost a couple of visitors, I think, who are there due to the rebooting. Greetings to all of you. So again, I'm telling I am on battery and laptop battery is going on. I think it's almost on 50%, and I do not know the other battery for my uh, Wi-Fi. How long it will run? So I am assuming this will run somewhere for 30 minutes if there is no electricity. And if electricity comes, good, it will pick up in another 30 minutes. So I do not know. I might postpone it if it is supposed to get cut off. But I wanted to do this session today. It's an important session. This is a very challenging thing. I see so many obstacles and challenges coming whenever I want to do a live. It's not easy. So we must always remain aware that there are these forces that always work against our own evolution. It's very important and very crucial that we do not lose our awareness of our path, of our divine self, because if our connection with the divine is perfect and fine, then everything else happens very beautifully. But if that is missing, then it becomes very difficult. So we have to be first aware of our spirituality first. A few of you from South Africa were saying that start these sessions with meditations, because by the time you finish your session it's like 4 hours, and by the time we are asleep. The reason I don't immediately start is because we need to get attuned, we need to get aligned with our realities. It takes a lot of time, especially if you have been worldly, if you are in the world, if you are doing your responsibilities, if you are in the doing, lot of doing, you'll see that to shift from doing to being, it takes some time. And that is why it is very important that we always be prepared. Very important that we remain prepared. Because as I told you, if we lose this connection, everything is gone. Everything is gone for a toss. It's only illusionary world then. It's the world of ego consciousness. Opposite of ego consciousness is soul consciousness. So it is my utmost advice or suggestion, you say that every single day you must practice being in awareness. I'm not saying meditate or do this or do that. It is not about doing. You must develop the habit of being nothing, because that's the most simplest thing to stay aligned with your soul consciousness. If you are aligned in that state of consciousness, some good moments of the day also, that alignment will keep you aligned with the rest of the worldly activities also. Then everything that you do in the worldly activity also You are aware of it. You are not lost in it. That's very important. That you be aware of what you're doing. That you not be lost. As I told you, this is all about ego consciousness, what we are trying to say. If we are liking this path of being silent, of the stillness, and experiencing our real self, which is where what we have all come here to experience. The real self is the ultimate. Whatever you do, whichever path you go, whatever you do, at the end of the day, at the end of life, or at the end of our journey, we must become centered in the self. That is our purpose of coming. But unfortunately, if we are more centered in the ego consciousness, what happens is the ego will automatically tell us that do this, do that, because then you will have the sense of doing, the sense of something important. That importance will only come when you feel that you're done something or you're doing something, because by birth only we have this kind of a quality. We have been trained. By birth we don't have it. When you are in the womb state, when you're in the uterus, when you are in your mother's womb, who did you eat, did you drink, did you breathe, did you pass motions, pass urine? What did you do? Nothing. The soul in that state was completely in stillness and completely in that state of pure awareness. It was just going through what the experience is happening. The child is aware of itself as a being in the womb, but does nothing because it is not yet influenced by the world. It is not yet influenced by the ego consciousness. When it is born, also, it doesn't do anything. Do you have your bath? Do you ask for food? Do you eat yourself? Do you groom yourself? You are not aware of anything else, any bodily activities, anything of the ego consciousness. You are not aware as a child. As a baby, you are taken care of. What is it that takes care of? You might say your parents. No, not really. It is that divine cosmic force that works through your parents. Something is working through something to take care of you, to nourish you. So it is that something only that takes care of all of us till the end. But we develop the belief that we are doing something or somebody is doing something for us. Not true. This state of realizing the being is realizing this thing, that I have never been the doer. I'm not doing anything. Things are just happening to me. Only when the mind begins developing in the baby, does the mind start feeling the aham, I am the doer, and then it starts doing everything. It completely get into the dual mode, doing mode, and then it starts believing that I have done this, I have done that. And then as the mind is developed, all the developed mind around the baby, all the ego consciousness around the baby, because they are in ego consciousness, they can only see, read, and feel and understand ego consciousness. That is what they teach the child. You are Mr. This and this, or you are Miss This and this. This is your name. They start calling you by this name, so and so, so and so, XYZ, ABC. And the baby thinks the parent is talking to ABC. So if the parent asks during that state, who wants food? The baby will say, ABC wants it. Like for example, baby will say, Jake wants it. It begins with that, the identification of the body. It now is listening all the time and saying, this is the name. So it says, this is the name. Then slowly that I-ness starts happening, that this Jake is nothing but I. Then it says, I want it. Slowly. This is how it transfers into the ego consciousness. And then the I-ness begins. And then me and mine. Me. This is me. This is mine, my parents. my house, my people, my body, my name, my form. The me and mine begins. And then slowly the identification drifts us away from that eternal consciousness. Till now, the eternal consciousness was taking, even after that, the eternal consciousness only is taking care of. But now the belief system develops that I am taking care of something. And then the I-ness begins. That is the start of ego consciousness. And from there we have journeyed till today. What all have been we've been taught. This is you. This is yours. This is your country. This is your world. This is your religion. This is your name. This is your status. This is your position. This is who you are. These are your achievements. This is your degree. This is your language. This is your color. This is your belief. This is your community. This is your path. And the baby starts believing that this is me. This is your God. So everybody has different gods. Depending on what? Depending on the beliefs, depending on the parents where you are born, the communities that you are born. It is completely on that. Nothing else. Absolutely nothing else. And then seriously, you take things very seriously. I am a Hindu. I have this symbol of mine. I have this symbol of mine. I have no symbol of mine. I have this symbol of mine. These are all the catches of Maya. Unknowingly, ignorantly, our people also ego consciousness, the whole community ego consciousness, world ego consciousness, all are in ego, having all different identities, names, beliefs, and that is all topified on you. And you, like a sponge, absorb it. What you are not, you start believing. The world is enough to prove it to you. This is what you are. And then you believe, this is what I am. And then you get lost. Then your journey is gone. Where you are supposed to head and where you go. And ego becomes very strong. Then you can't leave your religion. You have so much pride. I am a bhakt, this bhakt, that bhakt. I am a shakt. I am a Shiva bhakt. I am a Jesus bhakt. I am a follower of Islam. All utter nonsense. That is why I do these private sections. Only those who can understand the self can understand this. Fanatics cannot understand these things. So I keep fanatics away from all this. You will not understand it. Fanaticism is nothing but another belief system that you have wrapped around yourself. Another strong belief that you have built around yourself. This is me and mine. And are identified with it. Stuck. Spiritual systems are supposed to unbind you, unwind you from all the catches of this Maya. But what it does? Unfortunately, it makes you stronger. Religion makes it stronger for you. We feel that being a Shiva Bhakta, we are going to have liberation. No. Check it out. We feel that being a devout Christian will give us liberation. No. Because that will only boost your ego consciousness of something more. These are all truths of the self. Look at all the great liberated masters who are in the self. Bhagavan Nityananda, Ramana Maharishi, Nisargadatta Maharaj. Have they ever talked about any God? Any system, any methods? They will throw away all the systems. That is why they are not famous and popular. They become popular according to our beliefs. I am so and so bhakt. I catch on all the people who are bhakts. And when we all bhakts get together and become andhbhakts, whichever caste, whichever religion, whichever gods. Whereas those were just stepping stones to take you to the divine. The form is just a step to the divine. But your ultimatum is formlessness. The more you identify with form and say, this is my form, I am identified with this form, I am a bhakt of this form, gone. You will be still in the form, Dvaita. You cannot proceed beyond the form. Very simple facts. That is why Ramana's posts I keep on putting. How many people of us have the guts to digest these truths? How many of us have the guts? I will say the guts. Because guts means I am challenging the ego. It is so much lost and thinking that it's doing and doing and doing. That is why by the end of the day we are all frustrated. So much of doing it, nothing happens. I'm running around here, I'm running around there, I'm doing this, doing that, this sadhana, this worship, that ritual, karma kanda. That is why he says the secret of Arunachala. Ramana says, don't you see japa, mantras, pujas, prayer, rituals are all extant up to a certain point. But the time comes when all that has to be left aside. You have to take the leap beyond. In the beyond, you will find the real. That means what? All this is unreal. Whichever gods you are catching to, they are there, but they are just the form. Form is illusionary. What is real is the formless, from where all the form comes. You want the real, catch the formless. You cannot catch actually. Catch, you can only catch the form. Formless, you have to merge. Only when everything has been left behind, Devas along with everything else. See, he says even Devas. It includes even Mahadeva. Okay. Can you find the vision which has no beginning and no ending? The vision of being of the self. Devas are all ego consciousness. You see what happens when you become a Deva. There's nothing else in the ego consciousness. There's so much of pride. Ek aham, that I am such a such bhakt, and even I am a pure bhakt is a pure aham. I'm a pure bhakt of my guru. I'm a pure bhakt of my God. Aham. Ego consciousness. Because there is I and there is a worshipped. There is a worshipper and there is a worshipped. Two. Still not together. Still not reached there. When the identity is dissolved, that one's identity and this one's identity, then there is nothing. Nothing to even speak. Even there is no speaking that I am one with that. That also is another aham. I am one with that. Two. It is still two. But you might say I am one with that. Where oneness happens, there is no words. Words means aham. See, in today's post also, Ramana's I posted, the foremost of all sadhana is silence of the mind. This is what the true devotees should practice. Bhagavan says silence is of four kinds: silence of the speech, silence of the eyes, silence of the ears, and silence of the mind. Last Sunday, I had taken this very clearly. This is a very good coincidence. Last Sunday, I had described about the Panchendriyas, out of which three are the strongest. This is the most worst. Speech. Speech which has no meaning, which is just into gossip or just into unwanted blabbery all the time. It comes from the ego consciousness. It has no silence. How do we know? Day in and day out we are talking all the time, on the phone or in the personal conversations or in regular activities in the world or at home. How do we know whether we have control on this? Check out what you are talking. Check out what you're talking. Does it have any meaning or weightage, or is it just wastage of your energy that is running out of your jiva? Hi, hello, how are you? What are you doing? What are you up to? What is the climate there? What have you eaten? What have you shat? All the ego consciousness just involved into something because it wants to keep the mind engaged. The ego wants to be engaged in doing. This talking also is doing. Unwanted talking, doing. People of awareness will try to put this doing, this talk, this speech also into very pure in the sense productive, which is constructive, which is which helps one evolve. Anything that does not help one evolve or doesn't make one's urdhagati is waste. Biggest danger for the people on the path. Not for the people who have a lot of time. I have another 20 janmas. For you, good. Do. For the people who are aiming on one janma, it will not work. And silence of the ears. You should know what to listen to. Listening also very important. What kind of songs you listen to, what kind of people you all the time are holding the phone and listening, blah 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 blah, and you're keeping like this for hours together. Somebody is talking and you don't want to listen also, but it's going into your head. Person who is aware will not want to go into all this listening, talking, unwanted, which is waste of time. We have very less time. We feel we have eternity. We don't know if tomorrow is our last day. What will we do? If tomorrow is your last day, what will we do? We are not yet ready. Then you can't decide. So what is there is in the now. We have to make utmost use of that now. Silence of the mind is the ultimate. See, he says silence of speech, the silence of the eye, even what you see all the time, what you're looking into, what movies you're looking into, what videos, even videos. We are just watching videos. Here, this master, that master. It's going on. Discourses after discourses, listening, discourse after discourse. Where is it all going? We do not know what to filter and catch. Everything is good. Religion is good, spirituality is good, Facebook videos are good. What do you call those? What are those? Reels are good. What for? Are they giving you any urdhureta, urdhugati? Dangerous, very dangerous. These reels and these shorts and all, very dangerous. These are not for people who are trying to abide in the self. Not for people. If we are not careful, we'll get lost in it. Hours of listening and seeing, talking, getting us nowhere. People who are damn serious will become very serious about this. What is it that makes you serious? Your awareness. Only if you are aware can you catch what I am even telling. What is this that is telling me? Because when I am doing mistakes, there is something in me that is watching my mistakes. And whenever I am into meditation or whenever I am in deep contemplation, it shows me, look, you have wasted your time in this. Look, you have wasted your actions in this. Look, you have lost your track of the path. From being, you're into doing. So much of things of doing. This is that awareness. This is what, if you keep practicing every single day, some amount of awareness, this awareness will spread throughout the day and will watch over you and will keep you safe on the path. It does not mean that you should not enjoy any of the worldly things. No. But when you are even enjoying the worldly things, a state of awareness is there which is even witnessing that experience. So if there is a witnesser that is experiencing what you are experiencing, good, bad, ugly, whatever, if there is one aspect of that observer, then chances are very less for you to get lost in that, get carried away by it. You cannot get carried away. You'll enjoy it, but you will stay afloat. Many of us don't want to do that because many of us don't want to loosen up and get our egos lost, because identification lost means it's a threat for us. We feel everything, we will lose everything. If I lose myself, I will lose my loved ones, everything, all the things that I possess, everything will go. Then what will happen to me? I don't exist. That is why people don't get into awareness, because they want to be in that experience all the time, because they feel that experience is real, it is going to last forever. No, it will not. One day it will end. So there is something that is everlasting. The experiencer, the one who is experiencing it, will know about it. It is that which has to be held on. So he says, above all the four kind of silence: silence of the speech, silence of the eyes, silence of the ears. Above everything is the silence of the mind, which I told last Sunday. Mauna, true mauna. How useful can those paths be that clearly does not reveal the self, even though they speak clearly about other things? Your duty is to pay attention only to what is already existing. All other sadhanas are just a dream. Everything else is just a dream, he says. And it's true. Because there is only doing, doing, doing. There is that experiencer feels that this is real. My sadhana is real. This that is boosting my ego and saying that I am on this path and I am doing so and so, I have achieved so and so, I am going somewhere, I am going to reach somewhere. The I that is there, that experience, the false experience of the real that is feeling like real, that keeps you engaged in that strongly, in that feeling that this is real, and you carry on. It is nothing but the ego consciousness that is. Are you getting what I am trying to say? It's nothing but the ego consciousness. And it's the ego consciousness that boosts that you do this, this will happen to you. You keep doing this, you keep doing that. If you do this kind of a practice, you do that kind of a practice, you will get this, you will get that. You will get an immortal life, you will get a healthy life, you will get a wealthy life, you will get all this glory, you will get all the statuses, you will get a relationship sorted out, you will get a better life, you will get a good prospectus, a career, a job, a dream projects. All the ego consciousness. They are very popular. Why? Because we who are rooted in the ego consciousness can only see that. If we have vasanas, we have a lot of desires, what else can we see? Can we see Ramana's words of self? No. What will attract us? Do this, I'll get something. Do that, I'll get that. Lust. The ones who are giving it also are lost, the ones who are taking it also are lost. Though it all looks, we are heading all somewhere. This is that catch. Who tells you this? No books will tell you this. Only your subconsciousness one day will tell you this. If you are a practitioner of awareness, if you go again and again and practice deeper and deeper into this practice, you will see suddenly this light of awareness reveals this to you. Nobody has told, no, for me, nobody has told this. Nobody has come and whispered in my ears, this. No. When you go deeper into the self, when you practice silence, I can tell you, when I went to Tirunamalai and I began practicing Mauna, things were revealed to me. We go to Tirunamalai to enjoy, that's a different thing. I am telling, if you go there and sit in silence, become aware of that being, the Mahadeva that is sitting, if you become aware, that's a catch. We like to go to Kailasa. Why? Because it's known that that is where the abode of Shiva. Shiva stays there. Shiva lives there. So we want to go to Shiva's house so that we can get something. Dvaita. Who goes to Arunachala? Arunachala is Shiva himself. I'm not saying, the Puranas already say this. Kailasha is the abode of Shiva. Arunachala is Shiva himself in the Jyotir form. Jyotir form that turned into emeralds in the Dwapar Yuga, and in the Treta Yuga the same became gold, and the Kali Yuga same became stones and mud. Same transformation of that element only. From light it has come to that form. That light in the Shiva form leads to today's stones and mud in Shiva form. Kan kan mein. Science, not belief, not a blind belief. Mahadev. Mahadev is not sitting on a hill. He is you. And when you go into stillness only, you can know the Mahadeva that is within. I am. That is why it is called I am Shiva. When you say Mahadeva outside, Mahadeva, 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 you are saying you are Shiva. That is the first padav, the first step towards realizing I am Shiva. These are deeper truths. When you only pass all that stuff, the doing and worshipping and rituals and outside, Bhayamukhi, the Dvaita, then only you can enter into Advaita, where you become the Mahadeva. And then there is nothing to speak. There will be no entity to even say I am Mahadeva. Even the person saying I am Shiva is again in dual consciousness. It is a feeling, it's not a proclamation. Proclamation is ego consciousness. How can you say, I am that? There are two there. That I is there and the Shiva is there. There are two still there. When it is one, you don't speak about it. Whenever you experience that stillness, it is only a experience, a knowing. That is being. Rest all is doing. Are you seeing the difference? Being is just in that stillness. When you be, when you don't do, do means action. There is a doer, karta, karta purush. Somebody who is doing it. There is a false I. Kaya, then how do we pull ourselves away from others, keeping, keep giving the unwanted blah blah blah? Why do you have to connect to the blah blah blah? Your awareness is telling it's all blah 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 going. Don't connect to it, as simple as that. I don't connect to all that nonsense. Let them do, because the world is all doing only. It's all Maya. It's playing. So you can't stop the world. Please understand this. You can never stop the world. The world is as it is. It will always be here like this only. Even after 100 years you come here, some or the other nonsense will go. It's Dvaita. Duality will happen here. You cannot change the world. You can only change yourself. You can shift into awareness and stay in that stillness and escape all this automatically. You can't stop the world, but you can stop yourself getting immersed into the world. Then when someone is looking for some solace, how should we handle it, please? Who is that someone? And where is the solace? Solace is not on a hill. Solace is not at a different place. Solace is not in a particular thing, person, environment. That solace is within, that being. When you enter into that being only, you enter into that solace, that peace. And who is that someone who is looking? That's the ego consciousness. I want to meet my God. I want to experience something. That is the ego consciousness. That's all fine. We all have ego consciousness. I'm not saying that you can't discard it. We all have that. But to be identified with that ego consciousness is foolishness. You have to shift into awareness, stillness to experience that. There is no gyan there is no lecture there. That's space, stillness, silence, silence of the mind, eyes, ears. Cut out all the indriyas and sit. This will happen only if you are practicing these videos, not just listening. This is intellectual ego understanding that, oh, I know all these things. No, you have to practice and you have to realize it. Only when you realize it, you can even understand what I'm saying. Okay, I can see my laptop has come to 11%. Okay, anytime it might conk off, and I don't see the electricity yet come. So I think it might come the evening or something. I'll just put up a message if I'll do it today, or I might do it tomorrow also, because I wanted to do this. It's very important. And I wanted to do this practice also. There's a beautiful practice where you will experience that stillness, when you will know, where you will experience that God which you are saying outside, when you worship inside. And when you are in that, everything will vanish. All your Bhagwa Kapda will vanish. All your Bhagwat Tilaks will vanish. All your coverings will vanish. All your Rudraksha will vanish. All your golden ornaments will vanish. They're all ego consciousness. Who to prove to whom? Which dress, which color, what to prove to whom? Your being is formless. It has no color, no identity of any kind. All these identities are somebody's ideas. This color belongs to this mala belongs to this. It's all good, but very limited, very, very limited. That you have to become aware. These are very triggering. If you, I cannot speak this on public platforms. They'll persecute. I'm already under persecution for speaking the truth. But this is the truth. Just because you won't believe me, I'm taking Ramana's document, Nisargadatta's document, all the Upanishads I'm taking that and giving you a reference so that you might not believe me. You might say I have an agenda. I don't have an agenda. This is the agenda. The truths, eternal truths. And I have experienced peace and tranquility only after moving into this kind of truths. Not in all the man-made truths. Man-made truths are all mean. It's all selfish. It's got some motive, some profit and loss business. It's all business. This has no business. And this is accessible to everybody. Those things are not accessible to everybody. You have to pay. You have to do so many things to get into that. So many conditions are there. This is conditionless, unconditioned. You just have to move. You just have to shift your consciousness. Your consciousness is Bahimukhi, you will get all that nonsense. Your consciousness turns within Antarmukhi, you are in that state. So, dear ones, I like to continue this because I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. The power is running out. I can see it has come to 8% now. So, it will go off any moment. And I don't know, there's some major work going on here. But I would like to continue this. And if you're still interested, I will post an update on when I can do it today. If I can today or else tomorrow. But it's very, very, very important because if we are aligned to this, if we are all together on this, and then we do this a certain kind of a practice and we move into that stillness and we expand that into our day, you will see your life also changing a lot. Your life will change. The challenges of life will change. The obstacles that you have in your prarabdha, that will change. The stillness will come. And that peace will come and the seeking will stop outside. The running around will stop outside. That has to stop. Then only there is eternal answers. Then only there is that contentment. And there is nowhere to achieve something. You are already in the achieved state. Only thing is, here it is realized, but we are searching the realization outside. Ramana says it's here. It's you are already realized. What are you seeking outside? Somebody is telling you do this and you go there and reach. Realization is not somewhere to reach. It's already here. So instead of direction like this, it has to be pointed this way. Antarmukhi, inward. So when a person takes a U-turn who once they get all the tokers and once for years they have been doing and they get nothing outside there and they get fed up, then they take a U-turn. There is no use here in this world. Hopeless world. How many of us have had this experience? We all became spiritual by this only, right? No hope in this world. Nothing outside can give. Then we become silent. Actually, our ego consciousness makes us depressive. Instead of silence, we should go into silence. But it makes us depressed. And we said depressed. That is not silence. That is still a part of ego consciousness. So only when the real journey happens, when the stillness, when you are shifting into that awareness of that pure awareness and start moving within, and then you experience and you say, this is true, this is real. Oh my God, it's all here. So when your consciousness from outside turns into internal, you begin experiencing the internal consciousness. And then you realize, oh, I am already realized. Where should I go? It's all here. What was the difference? Outside. Consciousness was outside. Now it is inside. Yeah, Malaji. I'm so sorry. We have to end this. Please update rescheduling. Yes, I'll surely do this. We'll go a little more strongly on this. And I believe this will help us all in dealing with the world. I'm not saying absolutely leave the world and get in. No, I'm saying you'll have a nourishing life even in the world. You can experience it, but you will not get lost in it. That's very important. You might get flowed away. Even I go into that sometimes. I get lost into it. But my awareness keeps me afloat. It doesn't allow me to go by the current. That is all what we should all practice, because that is all what life is about. At the end of the journey, we will have to settle down somewhere within ourselves, within that soul consciousness. Yes, I will put this update on Facebook only. I'm sorry, I have to end it. It's come to 3%. Whatever. We go by whatever happens. Whatever is the best, let it happen. So I'll go into details, into depth with that session, whichever session, whenever we are doing, and then we can have that experience also, a small experience. Our friends were saying, start with the meditation. This is the reason I don't start with the meditation, because okay, if you mean aligning, then we can do that. It's a meditation where you just align yourself, that's fine. But the deeper awareness, the pure awareness that we have to experience, that can happen only if I explain these things. Because till then, if you're sitting in awareness, that consciousness does something to us. It's not me who's doing it. Your consciousness, when you get connected, what I talk is about the higher consciousness, deep consciousness. So when you get connected to the deep consciousness, something purely stills you and purifies you and settles you down, and then you're ready to get into that experience. Maybe I should make my sessions little more shorter. Okay, with this I'll end this session for now. I'll return back soon. Lots of divine love and light to all of you. Sorry for this interruption. Stay blessed.